Hello, hello. We're going to be talking about the stream last night and what took place there. I have quite a few things to actually say about that. Um, I know I had some people asking me to go live or whatever, but I did have company here at the house, and I didn't want to be rude to the company that was here at my house. So today we're just going to go over it together. I'm going to try to tackle what I can, but I'm telling you right now, I don't know if I'm prepared for all this. Like, I feel like when I talked about Papa Kilo and Monty yesterday, I think that's what triggered him. Um, I think I said one too many, two things that were truthful. And now that he's heard all of this, um, apparently he feels a certain kind of way. But what baffles me is he hasn't told me about how he feels up until now. And I hope you guys can comment and everything. I should have the comments on. They should be ready to go. So hopefully you can hear me and see me. And I'll try to watch a few minutes of this, but you guys, it's probably going to piss me off. It really truly is. So I hope I don't get like too pissed off here, but I do want to explain where I can and why certain things happen like they do. I don't know. I don't know if somebody like brought me up or something and that's why he started talking about it. Like I was not watching. I only heard about what happened. So, we'll see how long I last on this. He talks about Jade Station at the beginning. Is this where he goes? He shows the screen. Yes, it's a lot of emails. I agree with you all, but I don't agree that he should read out each and every one. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the point of that? Hey Jim, it's good to see you. Welcome in. Um, it's Monty. I react. Oh, there goes the puppy. I reacted to Monty and Papa Kilo yesterday, and apparently I said like one too many truths because he is highly pissed at me now. Like he's beyond pissed. He sat down and read out my emails last night, kind of pissed. And I understand that the emails are a problem. I understand. I'm secondhand embarrassed because of all the stuff that he read. Okay. And then on top of that, he's like cursing me out left, right, and center. And this is all because I reacted to him. I'm like, this is very, very extreme and it falls in under abusive, you know? Monty is evil. I mean, yeah, like he's jealous that I'm back. Or not jealous, I don't think that's the right word. He's mad because I'm back. He's mad because his plan that he had contracted for me. I can't think of the right word. Sorry. He's mad because I'm back. He's mad because I'm stronger than I was before, and he knew the time when to hit me when I was the weakest, which was last night. So, hey KT, welcome in, hun. Um, I just like I want to react, but I don't know. Like, I don't even know what my actual reaction is going to be. Like, that's what I'm worried about because I know he's yelling at me in like all of these, like literally all of these, you guys. And if I like, I don't feel like I said anything that wrong on the Monty versus Papa Kilo act. I or react. I I was just up. I was up here. I was honest. I said my thing and I did my thing, and he can't cope with it. Like he can't stand it. So I'm gonna try to see how long I can listen to this. I hate hearing my own words because it sounds so stupid. But I don't think people realize that I don't talk to a lot of people in my life. Like my circle is very very small, and my circle is mostly my family. Like I don't have a lot of friends, you guys, and so I'm talking to him about these things as if he's a friend. I'm not trying to do anything else. And I don't have a lot of males to talk to in my life either, which is weird. But like I don't have a lot of people that I can just shoot the shit with and talk about girl world with because I don't I don't cross those two lines. I don't put girl world into my personal life if I can avoid it, you know. God, I am so nervous to cover these. Like I'm staring at it like, "Oh my god, I don't want to cover this." All right, I'll try you guys.
And Monty, please don't tell them what happened today. I'm already embarrassed enough. I'm not gonna do shit for you. You're a piece of shit. You would
Yeah, and of course I come in right in at that time. So this is an example of when he and I would fight. Okay, if he and I would fight really, really bad, he would basically just turn into a psychopath and curse me out left, right, and center. Only it wouldn't be for like 10 or 20 minutes. Like most people need to just rant for like 10 or 20 minutes and then they're fine. No, his would be like upwards to like 45 minutes to an hour of him like chewing me out over the stupidest shit. So he was actually causing flashbacks with me because of the way he was talking.
tell people as you come on, tell people I'm hacking you, tell people I'm harassing you. How the F
I didn't tell anybody that you were harassing me. I never said that. I never said that in a million years. I never said you were harassing me. I was making the joke that I can't go on my own platform because of you, but that's not the same thing. I never said that, Monty.
Am I harassing somebody when I
Never said it. Maybe you should check to see if I said it first, because somebody's lying to you.
haven't fucking talked to you in years? You got
See, and like he gets to the point where he gets screaming and raging, and it gets scary, you guys. Like it gets like, could you imagine being his girlfriend and he's acting this way? Um, Scarlett is saying calling you a POS is inappropriate. I agree. Like he is straight up verbally abusive. And I do believe that is against terms of service. You can't be verbally abusive with other people in this space. Um, I know a lot of people watch this and laugh and they think it's all fun and games and that it's all part of the act. But when you're the one in the hot seat and when you're the one being chewed out, it's a very, very different space. Very, very different. Very, very abusive. And this is just more reminders for me as to why he and I will never work. It'll never work ever again because of him and how he approaches things. And all he can do is cuss me out because he's international. So when it's somebody that he doesn't know how to deal with, he just curses them out left, right, and center. And then he goes on with his life. He doesn't care. I can guarantee you, he went to bed tonight, or he went to bed last night. He didn't blink an eye over the way he treated, or he didn't blink a tear over the way he treated me. This is just common, average, everyday Monty behind the scenes. This is who he really is. Jim is saying Monty is, well, it depends on what it is, really. But I see what you're saying, Jim. Hey, Lynn, good to see you. Yes, it is about the views. His views are low right now. He can't attack Hecte's daughter because she hasn't done anything. They're over there threatening to sue each other, which is hella stupid. Um, so his views aren't high enough and his income is falling. So what does he do when he can't get his views up? He throws me under the bus. The last time he went for me was 6.5, almost 7 months ago, because Hannibal and GP stepped in and they basically told him, if you keep going for her, we're going to keep coming for you. So he went a good 6 months without chewing me out. And what upsets me the most about this entire thing is he didn't tell me how he feels until now. He let every single email slide, every single email, every single one he let go by. But up until today, and you know why he attacked? He attacked me because I stood up for Ariel and Papa Kilo, and I spoke facts. And he can't handle the facts I'm speaking. That's why he's mad about this. It's not about the emails necessarily with him. It's about so much more.
goddamn sociopath.
I'm not a fucking sociopath, bro. If I was a sociopath, I would have geared up a stream last night. I would have been sniping your ass. I would have been doing anything to get you to shut up. I'm not like that, dude. I'm not out for world domination like you are. I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to go viral. I'm not trying to do a damn thing. I'm not trying to be like Foodie. I'm not trying to be like Valerie. I'm not trying to be like anybody. I'm trying to be me. And every time I come back to my platform, you fucking attack me. Every fucking time. If you don't want me to say my piece on you, don't act stupid then.
I'm already embarrassed enough. Just tell them I
I
signed
am.
the NDA and leave.
I am. There is an NDA that is pending, Monty, since your nosy ass has to know. I haven't signed the NDA yet, but it is currently being drawn up and in the process. I can't say shit. Do you understand that? I can't say shit. And it's for real this time. It's only I bet that NDA will be ready by next week with the rate this is going. And I will sign it because I don't want to keep talking about this shit. I don't like talking about it. It makes me uncomfortable. And most of all, it makes me really, really sad.
Leave it at that. I chose the easiest way. Okay, no, the easiest way is to leave a fucking man alone. You see, you hit a little bit too close to home, is what you did, Purple Glitter. You see, you were good with stalking and harassing a schizophrenic, or should I rather say, excuse me, a person with schizoaffective disorder. That's what they say now these days. You were okay with stalking and harassing him because people in his town, whatever.
What the fuck are you talking about my dead ex for? What the fuck are you talking about my dead ex for? I didn't harass him, you piece of shit, Monty. You are definitely a piece of shit, Monty. 100% straight up. If you're dragging my dead ex-boyfriend into this shit. And by the way, he wasn't my fucking husband. He was an ex-boyfriend. I've never been married. Ever. He is a predator. And that's why he picked on me, because he knew I had a mental illness. He knew I had a son, or words, he knew I had a mental illness. And he also knew that I had a baby's daddy pass away. Sorry, I hate it when people say that phrase. My son's father had passed away. So he happened to come into my life at a very vulnerable time. But this really pisses me off. He's saying that I harassed my my son's father. What the fuck is wrong with you, Monty? I was in no contact with Ellie. Stop. Please. Thank you. It's because I'm raising my voice. She thinks I'm mad or something. But here's the deal. I didn't harass anybody to death, if that's what you're trying to say, Monty. Okay? This is bullshit. This is stupid. Why are you talking about my dead ex-boyfriend? Do you know how creepy it is? And by the way, he has 6 different emails brought up on his screen. I can count them on the tabs right at the top. So yeah, he planned this. He is that pissed off at me that he had to go below the belt and bring in my son's father into it. That's fucked up, Monty, on so many goddamn levels. That is so fucked up. I was in no contact with my son's father when he passed. How many times do I have to say it? I had to get an EPO against that man because he threatened to break into my house, which he did so, which is why I got the EPO to begin with, because he broke into my goddamn house. Why would I harass someone who had just broken into my goddamn house? You fucking moron.
Wherever it is, Duquesne County, wherever you are,
What?
Joplin.
What? Why did you dox me again? I'm not in Joplin, you fucking moron, and you know this.
They weren't believing him because he had schizophrenia.
You don't know a goddamn thing about him. You are literally talking out of your ass. And I hope I'm not scaring the chat right now, but I tried to tell you guys this was going to get me heated. I'm okay, but he is talking a lot of shit on my son's father for someone who is dead.
So then you went on to me, fucking around, telling people all sorts of bullshit, doing the same shit you did to him, except
No, I'm not doing the same shit to him, Monty, because I had a no contact order. No contact. I had an EPO against this man. When you called the Dunawig Police Department and you talked to Brian, which is the main lead officer on that crew, and Brian is the one that I worked with during the investigation, and he knows that you called because I warned him that you were going to call. And I was like, I'm warning you guys, he's going to call here and he's going to record everything he says. And he's going to put it in a video for entertainment. So I warned the police officers, both of them, that you were calling. They were fully prepared and ready to take your call after me. So why are you doing this shit to me, Monty? Why? All because I gave a fairly good criticism over what you did to Papa Kilo? Really, Monty? Really?
decided to end it all.
Shut up. You do not give a fuck about him. Don't pretend to. You don't give a fuck.
Excuse me. End it all by you know how. Then after me, you go on to a freaking lie. So all these
No, I don't, Monty. No, I fucking don't. What other bullshit do you have to say?
should, because you need to get your ass locked the fuck up for this.
Fuck you, Monty. You're the one who's going to be in jail after all this shit is said and done. Look at all the people that you've harassed. Look at all the people that you've doxxed. You've done this to literally everybody. Fuck you, Monty. You're not going to have anything to do with putting me in jail because it deals with me. This case is about me, Monty. It is my case, not yours. This is between me and another party, and it has fucking nothing to do with you. So you can complain, you can bitch, you can whine, but you don't get to play parole officer right now. I'm well aware that you've put 5 people in jail, Monty. 5. You have put 5 people in jail, and you're trying to put Hecate's daughter in jail. So if you need any more proof that Monty goes IRL, this should be enough for you. Don't go into his chat. If you don't want Monty to go IRL on you, don't go in there. Find a better place. There are many people to pick from in this space. Pick somebody better than Monty.
Shit.
Shut up.
Stop harassing the shit out of people. Look at this. And do you need help with this whole?
I was asking you, do you need help with Buddha? Do you need help with certain things? I'm trying to offer my help where I can, and I'm the one who doesn't even need to be helping in this situation. And you've got a problem with it? Really? Wow. The hypocrisy is strong here. It is so strong. Jim is saying Monty is a sociopath, and I agree. That's his favorite thing is to project. He and Gigi are one and the same because they both like to project onto people. Hey, Mr. Ella, good to see you. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting a little bit heated, and I didn't mean to. It just really pisses me off that he can't respect the dead, and it pisses me off that he's bringing my son's father into it because I had a no contact order with him at the time of his passing. That's why it irritates me, and it's just like Monty's just out here squawking, 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 and he just won't stop. Hope you're doing good, Drilla. Good to see you, hun. Hi, baby dolls. Hey, Lynn. Good to see you. Scarlett is saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks schizophrenia is schizoaffective is the same. Yeah, sorry, let me read that again. I'm heated and I'm I don't know. I'm in like raw mode. Scarlett is saying he doesn't know what he's talking about. He thinks schizophrenia and schizoaffective are the same. And I agree they're not the same, Monty. Schizophrenia is completely different. Schizoaffective disorder is also very different with very different symptoms and very different diagnoses, kind of like Gary Unfiltered. If you guys remember Gary Unfiltered, he talked openly about his mental health on his channel, and he explained that he had schizoaffective, which is basically when you take schizoaffective disorder and you take bipolar disorder and you put those two together, and it's almost like they had a baby, and then boom, we have schizoaffective. Okay, that's the way I remember it being described to me. So I need to take a breather for a moment. You guys, it is so embarrassing. I went to bed crying last night because I was so embarrassed. And I could go and I could ding him and I could do all this stuff to make him take it down, but I don't think it'll work. I think YouTube will keep it up. Um, Jarella is saying, well, it's something anyone would get upset about. It's a righteous indignation. Thank you, Jarella. I agree. I agree. Don't listen to him. He's dumb. Well, he's only attacking me because I stood up for Papa Kilo and I stood up for Ariel. And I cleared up the rumors with Ariel and Papa Kilo, the one about them. They're not living in a car. They're perfectly okay. They're in a home. But I just, he's so awful, you guys. Like it's just he always attacks me. Even when I'm not contacting him, he lies anyway and says that I'm contacting him. Like I went 6 months last year without sending him one goddamn email, and he didn't say a fucking thing about it. He didn't say a fucking thing. I think he just likes to do it just to fuck with me. Just to fuck with me. Because that's the mind games that he plays.
Whole thing. Do you know for sure who it is? This piece of shit. Not only has she tell people I'm crazy.
I never told anyone you were crazy. I didn't. I said you can be a little out there sometimes, but that's not calling you crazy. I didn't say anything this wrong to deserve this kind of shit from you, Monty. Why were you so butthurt over the things I had to say? Why are you overreacting now? Because if you truly didn't care, you wouldn't react at all.
I'm scary. People should stay away from me. And then the next moment, she turns around and
It's called BPD, Monty. BPD. Look it up.
Casually emails me. This is the level of sociopathy.
I'm not a goddamn sociopath. I don't care. If I cared about what people were saying about me, I would have fired up a live stream and sniped your ass. I don't care. I don't care. People are going to talk shit regardless, and you can't stop it.
That this piece of shit has. Will turn around.
Hey, piece of shit. Guess what? I can call you a piece of shit too, and you can turn around and kiss my fat white ass.
And email me after saying all that shit online about how Monty is this bad person.
Oh, so you're mad. That's what you're really mad about. You're mad because I acted one way to my audience and a different way to you. Really? Really? And you forgot the fact that I have multiple personality. Did you forget that? Did you ever once think that maybe one of the alters likes you and then the rest of them hate you? Did you ever think about that concept? Because as of right now, all of us hate you collectively. So it's a full consensual vote at this point. I am so irritated. This is the worst stream ever, you guys. Jarella is saying, well, it's something anyone would get upset about. Oh, I read that one. Okay. Hey, Tasha. Good to see you. Welcome in, hun. We're bitching about Monty again. So do I need to answer questions about the emails? What questions do you guys have? I don't know if I can sit and listen to all of this, guys, with as heated as I am. Like, I'm really fucking heated right now. And I know I sound normal and I act like I'm fine, but on the inside, I am like boiling. Because I don't think people understand that the emails are part of my compulsion issue. So, and hang on, I need a drink of water just a second. Jim is asking a good question. Jim is saying he put 5 people in jail. Who? Um, so part of it is I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but I think Daniel Larson was one that he put in jail. He's put Dragon Lord Frodo in jail. He's put Hannibal in jail. So off the top of my head, I can remember at least 3 of them. So Daniel Larson, Dragon Lord Frodo, Hannibal, he's put in jail. Are there any others? If you guys can help me remember, that would be great. But those are the only 3 that I truly do remember. Why do you have to be harassing my chat? Get out. So what I was trying to explain was a lot of my emails are part of my compulsion problem. They tie back to my OCD symptoms. But I can fix this easily, you guys. All I have to do is just email myself and he will shut up. But what annoys me about Monty the most, though, is even when I'm not emailing him, he lies and says that I'm emailing him anyway. So I could completely stop and he would just keep fucking lying because he's getting clout from the goddamn emails. Like, do you guys realize that's what's happening here? Like, I hope everyone realizes that. I hope everyone realizes that um, I don't even know what I'm trying to say because now I'm distracted with comments. I don't know, guys. This is a lot for me.
People, stay away from him.
No, I'm done. Nope, I'm done. He's straight up chewing me out like a psycho bitch. So it's okay for you to get up here and chew me out, Monty. That's okay with you. That's fine. When this is straight up verbal abuse. It is. It is straight up verbal abuse. I don't know, you guys. I'm already secondhand embarrassed because of all this. I Sorry, I'm here. I'm just kind of taking a minute. Hey, Scrange. We're going over the emails that Monty went through last night. I didn't realize he was this badly chewing me out. Like, I didn't even listen to it last night. I just started getting DMs of people telling me, like, hey, he's talking about you. You might want to respond. But I didn't know it was this bad. Hey, Ariel, good to see you. I know, dude. Like, he's pissing me because I reacted and I stood up for you and Papa Kilo. But it's like, you know what? You don't have to be such a douchebag, dude. Like, I went to like he wants to sit there and call me a sociopath. And it's like if I was a sociopath, I would have jumped on my live stream last night and started sniping the fuck out of both of you or whoever else is doing it. If I really cared about what people were saying, and Ariel, I think you know, I don't give a fuck what people think. I don't. Like it's taken me a long time to get here, but I don't now. I don't give a fuck. Jarella is saying you don't have to dignify his crap with a response. It's what he wants. I know, Jarella, but it's just so hard sometimes to just stand by and let him verbally abuse me because he's done it to literally everybody. Anybody that he hates, he verbally abuses them. And I mean, there's nobody that can stop him from doing it. It's just really, really sad. See, Scarlett, that's kind of how I feel. Like it's like, is it really fair that I can't criticize him back, but he can drag me for all I'm worth? Like if you're gonna drag me for how many books I read. If you're gonna drag me for something funny and stupid, not something so damn serious. In Ariel, I don't know if you knew this, but you might not have been here when I talked about it. But like he brought up my son's father again. He was trying to say that I was harassing my son's father. I didn't do anything because we were in no contact because I had an EPO against him for breaking into my house. Why would I harass a man who was breaking into my house? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Ariel, she's going, stay mad, Minty. Screen just saying, exactly, Scarlett. He gets to drag you and then and then expects you to shut up and take it. And like, I got so upset last night that I just locked everything down. I was like, every time I try to come back to my channel, I might get to be there for like a week or so. And then within a week, it all goes to hell and then I'm forced into a break, you know? So sorry, I'm frustrated again. And I'm not frustrated with anybody in the room. I'm frustrated with the situation like as a whole, you know. Ariel's saying no one believes anything he says. Don't worry. Oh, I know. They're over there just laughing and rolling at him because he's raging and he's raging at me. But it's like, Monty, have you ever sat down and listened to yourself rage? Because it's pretty fucking scary. Like, I can swear to you, I'll never send an email again after that. Not after that. I'll email myself so that way I'm not emailing anyone. Like, it's like I don't understand why people don't see how that's a compulsion. Do you guys remember way back whenever like Valley used to send her emails, right? Like Valley was another person who liked to email a lot, and I mean like a lot. Like every reactor in the space had an email from Valley, and it's like, you know, you've got your friend Valley over there, and she sends emails too. So are you going to bitch her out left, right, and center every time she emails you? Every time, but you gave her your phone number, so you're besties now, right? That's what that is. You two are besties. And no, I am not jealous of your relationship. I'm actually laughing at it. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. Jarella is saying, I know it sucks for people to upset themselves. He enjoys emotionally manipulating people. Yeah, he does. He gets off on that. He gets off on the control. He loves every single second of it. Every single second of it. I should have expected him to do this. I thought he would just ignore me and go on. So I thought he wouldn't even address me, in all honesty. Scrange is saying Monty always wants the last word. Yep. You should listen to the song Last Words by Mary Chapin. Okay, Mary Chapin Carpenter. Okay. I'll go listen to some songs. Wow, he needs to stop. Like Ariel, it was pretty bad last night. Like I ended up going to bed in tears, which is why I didn't come live. I'm like, I'm too emotional right now to go live. Because if I'm in a real emotional state, I stay offline completely. But he really upset me. And it wasn't because he was like being abusive. It was because he was bringing up my son's father who passed away. Like, why do you have to bring the dead people into it, Monty? That's fucking creepy as fuck. Ariel is saying he needs to stop tormenting you. He knows your reaction to what he does, and yet he does it just for fun. Yeah, he gets off on making me cry. He gets off on him thinking that he's destroyed me. And it's like, Monty, I, you know what? After all the shit you've done to me, bro, like literally, you use me for views every 3 to 6 months. I don't have a shot in hell at my own channel because you won't shut the hell up and leave me alone. And I never said you were harassing me, but as of last night, that is considered to be harassment. You getting up there and reading my emails like cohesively like that, back to back, and without having my consent, yeah, that is kind of harassment, Monty. So why are you mad at yourself for something that you're doing? You're doing it. Rawr. I'm so irritated, you guys. I guess I'm just talking to you guys because I'm trying to stay calm, and I do want to answer questions and stuff, but if they're trolling questions, I'm not going to answer them. So if they're real and they're serious questions, I will definitely answer those. No, hey, apartment wife. Apartment wife is saying he's torturing you. It's abusive at this point. Yeah, it is. And YouTube is just basically allowing it. They're allowing it. I really like that comment. Thank you, apartment wife. And it's like, but what can you do? Because every single time that you turn it into YouTube, YouTube's just like, oh, you have to hire a lawyer to handle all that. We won't handle that for you. It's like, what the fuck, man? I don't understand. Um, and guys, just so hang on, I'll get to screens in just a second here. I want to make this also very clear. Like, I don't have a lot of male friends in my life. Like, there's Card Game Guy, there's Guitar Man, but I don't keep up with them like on the daily. Like, I just hear from Guitar Man like every once in a blue moon. Like, he'll just pop back into my life at a randomness. And Card Game Guy, I do believe he is actually talking to a new lady right now. So, and I encouraged him. I was just like, hey, I was like, even if we didn't work out, I still want you to do what your thing, and I want you to be happy. So, if you find somebody new, like, I'm not going to be upset. Like, do your thing, right? And what people don't understand is those two people, those two men in my life are very much real. But that's like the extent, that's all the extent I have is to being friends with males. A lot of my friends are female. And I didn't design it to be that way, but I just sometimes I vibe with guys and sometimes I don't, you know? So I don't have any males in my life that I can go and talk to about this girl world shit. So I talked to Monty about it because he is in this space, but he didn't let me know how I felt up until last night. Like, those emails have been going for a while, and he didn't say anything about it until last night for the first time. And then he just unleashed on me and told me exactly how he felt. Like, it's wild, you guys. Screen to saying Monty has a pattern. You talk about him or criticize him, and he tries to expose anything about you. Well, the good thing about this, Scrange, is one, you are very much 100% accurate on that. And two, yeah, he does. He does. If it is too critical, he turns around. Like, I sat last night and I'm like, what did I say in my react that was so triggering to him? Was it when I attacked his music? But it wasn't supposed to be an attack, though. I was just openly stating to him, hey, you're misinterpreting the point of their comment. And he got mad at me because I told it to him like it is. It's like, don't come to me asking for an interpretation and then I give you one. And then here we are. Like, woosah. Um, Lynn is saying there's a reason why my life is private and oh, sorry. Let me start over. Lynn is saying there's a reason why my private life is currently totally private, and I need to get better about doing that. I wear my heart on my sleeve too much, and I know it's a problem. I overshare when I don't mean to, but what people don't understand about oversharing is it's a trauma response. Like, oversharing is a trauma response. The need to explain yourself is also a trauma response too. So I don't know who that person is in here right now, but Scrange is saying no, he doesn't email back. And but what he used to do was like he would say stuff like when I had my first channel, he'd be like, if there's anything you need to like edit out in my streams or whatever, he was like, email me a list of timestamps and I'll edit stuff out for you because he was like offering to help with edits. And then it just went from that to this, and I don't know. And he'll say that that was all bullshit. But the only thing that really hurt me yesterday was him talking about my son's father. That really did hurt yesterday because I know for a fact I did not harass that man, and I can swear my life on it because he passed away for different reasons. So we're going to talk about the real reason that my son's father passed away since Monty decided to attack this at this point in time. Now I feel like I'm forced to discuss it. So it was June of 2020. No, it was June of 2017. I apologize. We were together at the time. Um, and my son and I, or my son, good Lord, self, get it together. Um, it was around Father's Day in 2017 when he broke into my home. Okay. We were already fighting. We were going to have our first Father's Day as a family together. Because he had been out of my son's life for 7 years because I wouldn't let him around my son because he was into drugs and alcohol, and I do not allow that into my home. So it was a standing rule with me: if you want to see your son, you need to sober up. I was like, but you have to go through the program and you have to prove to me that you're sticking to the program, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. So we started fighting. There was some kind of party or something that he wanted to go to on Father's Day. And I kind of threw a fit about it. And I said, but why do you need to go to another party when it's Father's Day? This is your first Father's Day that you've ever had. Don't you want to be here for that? And because he wasn't of sound in mind, he was very, very rude. And he's like, well, I can do both. I'm just going to eat dinner here and then take off. And I'm like, okay, then what am I fixing this dinner for if you're only going to be here long enough to eat and take off? So it started off as a heated argument. I found out later that he was actually intoxicated. One of his friends came to me and they were like, hey, he was intoxicated when he was talking to you. And I'm like, are you serious? So we got into a fight. I asked him to leave. I asked nicely. I asked twice. And then I had to threaten him and say, if you do not leave, I will call the police for you trespassing. That was exactly what I said. So he takes off in a bitter rage, takes off in his scooter, whatever, and then he leaves. Okay, so he goes to the party. We don't have Father's Day. Like, that was the first Father's Day he would have ever had with us as a family, and he didn't even stay for that. Do you know how much that hurt his son for all that to happen? So he takes off, leaves. Then 2.5 hours later, after I put my son in bed and everything is going on, because my son was young at this time, he was like 7. Okay, and I might be wrong on that math, so bear with me. But we had to go to my dad's house to pick something up really fast. So we went in the car and went to go pick up my stuff at my dad's house. Well, then all of a sudden, I get a phone call from my neighbor saying, hey, your ex boyfriend is here. Do you know that he's here? And I'm like, what's he there for? They're like, we don't know. He's walking around the property. He's throwing stuff at the house. He threw stuff at the front door. And I went, what the fuck? So I turn around. I leave my son at my grandpa's house because I didn't want him to be a part of it. So I left my son at my father's house, turned around, came back to the house, and I find my house destroyed. Destroyed. He broke into the back door. Okay. So he took like a screwdriver or something, and the marks are still there on my back door to this day. He took a screwdriver, tried to basically break in through the front door, almost broke my glass to my back door. He destroyed the back door. He broke the lock. He picked the lock and he got in, and he tore up different places. He tore up the living room. He tore up my bedroom at the time. He pulled drawers out of the nightstand, threw different stuff on the floor, tore the couch apart, took all the cushions off the couch and threw them apart and threw them into the floor. Like all kinds of wild and bizarre, crazy shit. And then when I got there, he was already gone. He was already gone. So that is how I got my order of protection, because I took pictures of my home and I took it back up to the police station. I said, is this grounds to qualify for an EPO? And the police said yes. So that was my story. That is how everything happened. And Monty has the audacity to be a hypocritical bastard and to get up here and patronize me with the same shit, trying to say that I was harassing. No, Monty, fuck you. You don't get to say that. You don't get to make that shit up, because that's the only thing you know how to do is bullshit, Monty. That's all you know how to do. Screen to saying, was he living with you? This is hard to hear. So we were kind of sort of living together. Um, if my son was here at the house, he would usually be here and we would be functioning as a full family. Um, but he was also trying to get out of his little studio apartment that he was in. So, um, yeah. But every time Monty brings up my son's father, that's who he's talking about. That's what my son's father did to me. And you're trying to sit here and say that I was harassing a man who killed himself. Would you guys like to hear the rest of that story? I know why he killed himself. I was told by a friend of mine, a mutual party that came to me, and they were like, Emily, he wanted to be alive, but because he couldn't get the treatment or the help in time, he passed away. But that's not all of the story, though. I know the entire story of what happened. But you guys, if you're not in the mood to hear it, I understand. I don't want to accidentally like traumatize somebody in the chat. Like, that's not my goal. But it just really upset me that Monty had the audacity to go that fucking low. And I should have put up a trigger warning. Darn it, I forgot, you guys. I'm sorry. Um, and it's kind of nice to actually get that story out there and to let you guys hear exactly what happened. I'm sorry it's hard to hear. I know it's a lot, like it's a lot, but this is why I was scared of reacting, because I'm like, fuck, is it going to trigger me back to a bad place? But I wanted to try because I wanted to explain it. You know what I mean? But I mean, it seems like, are you guys okay with me talking? Should we switch the topic or anything? Just let me know, because I don't think I'm going to finish that Monty video. I don't think so. It's too much. It's way too much. Drella is saying sharing it helps people understand where you are coming from, but don't want to get yourself upset either. I'm okay. Like, I'm okay talking about it. This did happen in 2020. So I've had a few years to kind of take it to therapy and unpack it and that kind of thing. So there's that. But I'll go ahead and talk about what I think actually happened to him. Um, so at the time of his passing, he was working full time. He was working for a factory. He had only had the job for like a month. So he managed to get clean long enough to get a job. Baby dog, get down. Come on. Get down. Come here. Come here. Come here. Thank you. Um, he was in a good enough state that he found employment at a factory place. And keep in mind, we were still not in communication because that EPO was for 2 years. It was for an automatic 2 years. And so he was online a lot of the time, and I mean a lot. Like, he would get on live after a live stream, but he would mostly stream on Facebook. I don't know why he chose Facebook. I don't know if it was because it had local people there or whatever, but he really struggled to make friends in his life. He just came off as kind of weird and kind of scary to people, and people didn't really understand all that. But he had a very, very hard time making friends because of the schizophrenia. And when it's untreated schizophrenia, like it's really kind of scary. So like he was unmedicated and he was on drugs and substances when he passed away. Um, but so he would go live and he would stream like all the time. Like from the time he got home to work to the time that he went to bed, he was streaming on Facebook. And to the point that his parents could see him, his family could see him, and none of them tried to stop him. Like none of his family tried to tell him to be like, hey, that's not healthy. You need to get off there. Like none of them were helping him. Well, then one night he gets into a fight with his best friend, Brandon, which is the guy that's related to the cartel because his girlfriend is a cartel member. So that's where the cartel ties come into play. But Brandon, I guess they got into a big fight because Corey tried to hook up with Brandon's girlfriend, and Brandon's girlfriend is cartel. So now I don't know if they're together now. I would assume that they are, and I have not heard from Brandon in years. He came out and talked to me like right after Corey passed to make sure I was okay, and that was kind of the last I heard from him. Which I'm glad that there's distance there. But he was on a live stream. It was 9 o'clock in the morning. He was sitting there talking, smoking his stuff, and doing his thing, and he had learned that he had just been fired. So he was upset that he was fired. He was bitching, whining, and complaining. And then he starts drinking. So he starts drinking because he's upset, right? And he starts doing substances on camera. Like there were a few videos that were taken down by the police because it had so many drug substances in it. He doesn't understand what a troll is. He doesn't understand what the trolls do, how they operate, how they try to get you to do stuff. And that's actually a very common thing, is to threaten somebody's sexuality. So he freaks the fuck out because now he thinks his family has disowned him. Okay. He was like, why did you have to tell my mom that I'm gay? Why is that any business of yours? That should have come from my mouth, not yours. And you actually hear him in some of the videos saying that. So when he's like screaming and yelling, that's what he's screaming and yelling about. He's mad because his gender or because his sexuality was told to his family. And in his family, that kind of shit is not allowed there. Okay. They are a very conservative family. They are very, very Christian based, and that would not fly in their household. So instead of contacting his family like he should have that night, but he was so fucked up he couldn't think straight, he just started taking it out on the trolls and whoever was in his chat. Okay. He believed them. And so he got fucked up. And because of the alcohol that he was drinking, it was all over his clothes. It was all over him while he's sitting there doing substances with a lighter. And you can put two and two together what happened next. It got on his clothes and boom, that's how the fire started. He was literally burned alive, you guys, on a live stream. On a live stream. Facebook left it up for a month and a half because it made so many views. I've been told that you can see flames in the actual video of the house actually burning down around him. And keep in mind, there was another woman, an elderly woman, that was attached to his duplex. She was literally smelling and hearing the fire and the flames, and she got scared and ran out of her house because she was afraid it was going to go to her house. She was one of the ones who called the cops on him. But that's who Monty is dragging. And I don't mean to make the room go quiet. I apologize. But that was what happened. He thought that somebody told his family that he was gay. He was fighting with his best friend and his girlfriend, and the best friend's girlfriend. Like it gets wild, you guys. And I was so thankful and so blessed that I had my EPO, that he couldn't talk to me, that he couldn't come at me, that he couldn't do this or the other. And that really upset me when Monty said that I was harassing him before he died, because we weren't even in contact when he died. We were in no contact. and Monty wants to sit there and be an asshole and be disrespectful to the dead. It's just, it's a lot. It's it's a lot. So that was his story. That was how things went, and that was how a life was lost. Now, thankfully, my son has been okay. My son has been really, really strong. I'm really surprised that my son, doesn't talk about it more or whatever. That I mean, every once in a while he'll look at me and he'll go, "Didn't Dad like Dragon Ball Z?" And I'm like, "Yeah, your dad loved Dragon Ball Z." So sometimes he'll talk about him, but not very often. It's still hard for little kids to talk about, especially teenagers. But every once in a while, I get a little weird question. He'll be like, "What kind of car did Dad drive?" Or he'll just kind of like ask me like goofy little things like that, and I always answer him every time. But it's nice that he still remembers his father every now and then. So apartment wife is saying you've been through so much, you're so strong. Thank you, apartment wife. I mean, there's assholes like Monty who don't understand. They don't understand his story. It really bothers me that Monty chooses to attack family and that he chooses to attack real life because it is such a pathetic way to attack somebody. Thank you again, Drilla, for that. Screen just saying, I just don't want you getting upset or the kiddo getting upset. Oh, the kiddo is at school. So kiddo is at school. He's doing his thing. He's not even here right now. So it's just me here at the house. I'm okay right now. Like, if I'm not in tears right now, then we're okay. But I've talked about this a lot in therapy. So because I've talked about it a lot in therapy, it's easier for me to talk about to other people now. And plus, it's been at least a good 4 or 5 years since this has happened. So, Screen just saying, so Monty is lying out of his face. Yeah. Yeah. I was never harassing him. Never. Not once. We got into a big blowout fight because he broke into my home and one thing led to another and I got an EPO. So, um, I'm really thankful that things went the way they did. I'm thankful I was protected at that time. It was a really scary time. It really was. Like I was scared even in my own home, and that is not a good feeling. So I hope nobody has to go through that. Lynn is saying that's why you need to keep away from Monty. He will never stop, girl. Oh, I got you. Like, I will email my damn self before I ever email him because here's the deal, you guys. He never let me know how he truly felt. He would just let the emails go and he would ignore them. I didn't even think he was reading them at one point because I'm like, okay, is he even reading my shit? Like, I was just like, because sometimes he would act like he was responding, but he, like, never mind. I don't even want to get into that. Then he'll say I'm crazy or some shit. But I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to be like all in therapy mode today. I wanted to get up here and explain. I wanted to tell you all that yes, I'm embarrassed too. It's embarrassing as fuck to sit here and read and listen to him read that shit to 20 or 30 people. But again, I don't have a lot of males in my life. Like I don't have a lot of guy friends that I can talk girl world shit with, which is why I was talking to Monty. It's like I would love to have a good guy friend that I could talk to and just talk girl world shit for hours and hours and hours. That would be amazing. But I wish it wasn't Monty, you know? Well, I mean, there like I mentioned before, Screams, like there was one time I went 6 months without emailing him because I was working last summer. And I went like 6 months without contact to Monty, and he didn't even say a fucking thing. He just kept lying and saying, "Oh yeah, she's still doing it. She's still doing it." And because nobody asked him to prove anything, like just like oh, and that's another good point to bring up. He keeps saying that he has text messages and phone calls. Bitch, I deleted your number a year and a half ago. I deleted your number over a year and a half ago when I got a new cell phone. And I can guarantee you, one, he doesn't have a single text for my new number. I haven't texted him in over a year. In over a year. I haven't called, I haven't texted, I haven't left any voicemails, nothing. He is strictly lying out of his ass, and it pisses me off when he's lying out of his ass because people don't ask him to prove it. People need to be asking him, prove your shit. Did he ever email you back? No. He just reads them out and yells at me. So Screen just saying I never talk girl world with guys. Guys don't get it. Yeah, I tried to talk to Guitar Man about it a little bit when he and I were seeing each other. And he thought it was wild. He's like, so there's a bunch of people. He's like, let me get this straight. There's a bunch of fat people reacting to a bunch of fat people. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, why? But that's Guitar Man. Guitar Man was just like, what is this fuckery? He thought it was the weirdest thing ever. Oh, there's a good question. Hang on. So it's an OCD thing when you send thousands of unwanted communications to yes. And I know that sounds bizarre, you guys, and I hope this isn't like a trolling question, but I'm answering it because that's the point I'm trying to make. The reason the emails are happening is because of my compulsion issues. Like I have severe, severe compulsion issues. And that's why when I heard about Bally, I kind of looked at Bally like, are you OCD too? Because you're kind of acting OCD by sending emails. But yes, like if I don't send the email, if I don't get my thoughts out of my head, like I have to get those thoughts out somehow, some way. Okay. And Like, I don't try to be like, it's not like I'm telling him to go fuck himself and he needs to know last night I got pissed and I was like, fuck you, Monty. But from now on, I would rather email myself than get into some shit and get chewed out again. He did not tell me how he felt until the first time for last night. And now that I'm aware of how he truly feels, oh, he doesn't have to worry about that happening ever again. I will email my damn self. I will. Hang on. What are you guys saying? No, you're okay. You're okay. You're all right, sweetheart. And I figured you were trying to just be like honest and curious. So that's why I went on ahead and answered the question. But you're perfectly okay. I'm not pissed off. As long as you're not like threatening my life or something, that's when I get a little irritated. I do journal. So Rex is suggesting that maybe I try journaling. I do journal. I have like 3 different things. I actually have a notebook where whenever Monty pisses me off, I sit down and I write in the notebook every time he pisses me off just to like get the feelings out. You know what I'm saying? So last night I was sitting down and writing and trying to like get a lot of it through my process out and, get it out that way. So that way I was calmer today when I came on stream. Aaron is saying I have OCD too, but mine is more O than C. See, I do have a little bit of the O as well. That's where the obsessive thinking comes in. Kind of like you guys know how I'm like obsessed with like books and The Sims and coffee and all that good stuff, like good positive things. I do have the obsessive part and I have the compulsion part, but I don't necessarily have the D part. I'm more O and C combined. But the compulsion is like so hard to fight sometimes, you guys. Like when I want to talk, it's just I get so lonely sometimes and I feel so alone. And I'm like, is somebody else feeling alone? Because I feel alone. Like the reason I'm talking to y'all right now is because all my friends and family are all working 8 to 5 jobs and I can't talk to anybody till after 5 o'clock anyway. So it's like that's why I come to you guys because you guys kind of fill my void and like I feel all loved and happy when I come here and I get to talk. Journal. Yeah, Ariel's saying journal. Yeah, trust me, I'll probably even after I get off here today, I will probably sit down and probably keep journaling and stuff. So let's see what Sweetheart is saying here. Sweetheart is saying that sounds really hard. And when you're embarrassed for it, people don't realize it. Like, oh, sorry, let me start over. Okay. Sweetheart is saying that sounds really hard. And when you're being embarrassed for it, people don't realize OCD is almost impossible to rationalize or control unless you have a lot of therapy and a lot of help. And what people also don't understand, that's very true, sweetheart. Thank you. And what people don't understand either is treatment in OCD is very, very limited. Like, I can't get into my therapist right now. She is sick right now and she is out. So I'm waiting on the emergency therapy list. So that's part of why the emails are going out because I don't have my therapist like I normally would. Like, she's still there and she's still my therapist, but I'm just waiting for her to basically come back and I'm waiting for my insurance to clear so that way I can go back. But that's also a part of my life that I don't have right now, which is the therapy. So, but OCD is a serious issue and it can be really, really scary at times. I just, even hearing my own emails read out last night was so embarrassing. Like, I couldn't even bring myself to go live, even if I wanted to. I just would have been a blubbering mess and you guys wouldn't have been able to understand anything I was, saying. But Jarella is saying, knowing the behavior is maladaptive, but suffering from the compulsion and yet still engaging in it sucks. It does because, like, I'm embarrassed every time I send an email. I'm like, I hate the fact that I have to send these, but I also hate the fact that, like, I feel if I don't send the emails, then my opinion's not being heard. So I think a lot of it stems from, like, not being heard, Do you guys mind if I refill my water real fast? I'm going to refill my water and I'll be right back. Okay. My throat's going really, really dry. So hang on. I'll be right back, guys.
So full of desperation, I can barely stand the rotation. I can hardly start to speak, I'm weak. I feel the past in my bones. I dream I'm naked and alone. I'm feeling weak. heart is filled with doubts, and your mind is filled with borders. You can hear the vultures come and it's late. So late.
All right, you guys, I am back. I've got my water. I'm good. Sorry, I was just feeling myself getting a little bit dry on my throat back here. Woo, it's a lot of talking. I'll get to your comments in just a second here. Okay, and now we're back. Scrange is asking, is it more OCD or the erotica mania? Don't answer too personal. Hey, I'm an open book. You know me. If you're willing to ask, I'm willing to answer. Um, I'm assuming that you mean the emails. The emails fall more into the OCD category because of the compulsion part. And you guys aren't gonna believe this. I told Card Game Guy what happened last night. That my ex was chewing me out or whatever, and he was like, "Oh my god!" He was like, "Don't ever let him do that to you again." He was like, "You can email me anytime you want." That was so sweet. That was Card Game Guy. Oh, he was like, "I would rather you email me than ever email that douchebag ever again." Oh, that was really sweet. Okay. Sorry, got distracted. And when it comes to the erotica mania, sorry, I'm just getting adjusted in my seat back here. Um, when it comes to the erotica part, like that's more obsessive thinking. Like that's like me, like that's why I'm writing the book because it's the only way I have to deal with my obsessive thoughts is to write the book. So I hope that helps. I hope that answered something. But Aaron is saying, and treatment works better as a kid with OCD. Oh, I agree. And see, I didn't know I even had any signs of OCD until I was like late adult years. Um, I was really lucky that my parents got me into therapy as a kid. Really, see, and I was told that I had to go to group therapy for OCD. Like, I don't know if it's the way the facility is set up or what, but it was just a really weird way to deal with that, you know? Sweetheart is saying, I wish you could have had an advocate or a lawyer for your hearing. All that misinfo and trolls is really has really distorted what happened. Yeah, and he thinks that it's all me. Like he thinks that every single account he sees is me. And it's like, no, dude, I don't have the capability to like sit around and do that kind of thing. Even if I could, why would I do it? I would never drop my own social security number. I would never drop my date of birth. Like just how can you possibly think that's me? Do you not realize that there's impersonator trolls out there and that's what they do is impersonate to try to screw up somebody's life? Like I just wish he understood what was me and what wasn't, you know? Sweetheart is also saying Monty is cruel and has generally scary issues. Oh, sorry. Let me start over because like my eyes are jumping all over the place here. Monty is cruel and has generally scary anger issues. Yeah, like he was straight up screaming at me last night, screaming. Like it caused me to have flashbacks to some of our worst fights that we've ever had, and I'm like, well, that was a flashback I didn't want to have, but here we are. He is one of the most offensive and toxic people anyway. Just popped in and say, hope you feel better. Oh, thank you. And actually, you know, talking it out with you guys has been really, really helpful. But what do you guys think I should do? Should I just shut down again? Like, do I just shut down and give it a break? But he's just going to attack me again if I come back. Like, he's always going to attack me, I feel like, for no damn reason because it's Monty, you know? But I am glad that you guys are all here with me and that you guys are willing to at least sit down and listen to, you know, what is really happening and how it's playing out and that kind of thing. So, anyway, I may go on ahead and wrap things up for now. I just now realized that I went a little bit over on my time today, but that's okay. I had to get a water. So, I'll give you guys just a few more minutes to see if you have any other questions, and then we'll probably just kind of wrap things up from here. And thank you guys for being so like open minded and, you know, being nice because that really does help in this situation. Like I'm just thankful that I have you guys to talk to, and I know you guys will always be waiting for me when it comes to this stuff. So no, don't shut down the channel. That's what he wants. So he wants me to shut down. But it's so hard to react to him. Like next time if I have to react to him, I may invite somebody up on a panel with me so that way I'm not doing it like by myself. Because then it feels like he's literally just yelling at me to yell at me, you know. um but anyway, that's just my thoughts. So Oh, what is this person saying here? Let me look. Hi, Krista. Welcome in. Hope I said your name right. Just wanted to say I'm newer and I started following after I found you from Love Notes. Oh, welcome in. Hi. You also have BPD, Loom. Look forward to more in the future. Oh, thank you. I don't mind talking about mental health if you guys want to have like a mental health Wednesday. I think Jan's Views actually started that whole trend where she started doing like a Wednesday mental health day. Maybe we could do something like that on my channel where like I just check in with you guys and I tell you guys how I'm doing for the week or whatever. Like I wouldn't mind doing something like that and just kind of take like a girl world break for a day. Screen just saying he does this to shut people up or try to, yeah, or try to shut them up. I know because apparently I must have really hurt him in that whole Monty versus Papa Kilo react. But guys, I was just being open and honest and I just called it like I see it. Like I'm a reader, man. Like being a reader sucks sometimes because when you have the ability to read the room, it's just kind of like, damn, like I can read the room a little too well. Oh, will you, Scrange? Okay, good. Yeah, that would be fun to have some of my moderators panel with me and all of us tackle the Monty thing together. Two voices is always better than one. That would be fun, Scrange. Take a Monty break, not Girl World. Yep, I agree with you. I could take a Monty break for the rest of my life and be completely content. All Monty is nothing but verbal abuse. Right. Yep. Ignore Monty, but not Girl World. Well, after this, I don't know what I should cover. Like, I don't know what to cover next. Is there something you guys want me to react to next? Like, can you guys give me some ideas? Carissa, yes, you did. Okay. I also have an answer. Oh, wait, sorry. I also have an awareness YouTube. So just seeing people talk on YouTube is great. Talk is very limited on what you can say and what you can do. Oh, TikTok is very limited on what you can say and what you cannot say. Yes, I heard that. So I was starting like a bookgram or a book talk or whatever. Like I'm not actually making videos. I'm just kind of showing like what I'm reading and stuff. And if you guys want to find me under there, it's Leo Loves Reading 777. That's my username. But TikTok is very, very picky. Like even when you show the tarot cards, you have to hide like certain parts of the body on the tarot cards because it's offensive. Like it's wild. It is so wild. Okay, and Jarella is saying we just have to make sure to indicate that it's for entertainment and discussion purposes. Yeah, I need, and that it's alleged and it's for entertainment purposes. Yeah, not to be taken as medical advice and to put up plenty of trigger warnings. Thank you, Jarella. Thank you. That was very nice. Um, okay, you're agreeing with Scrange. He does. He 100% like tries to bully people into silence and he gets off on doing it too, which is so damn sad. It is so sad. And I've been trying to be better about leaving my content up. Like I feel like when I did the Girl World React, that was a good one. I left up that one. I left up Monty versus Papa Kilo, which I guess we still have part 2 to react to that, which I don't know if I feel like in the mood for that right now, but maybe in about a month. Oh my gosh, Edna. Good to see you, girl. Where have you been? Yay, everybody say hi to Edna. Edna's here. Edna is saying, yes, bring back Wellness Wednesday. But I don't want to upset Jan, though, because that was Jan's idea. Like, is she going to get upset with me if I borrow her idea for maybe a little bit? Because I don't want to upset anybody. Jarella is saying, the tubes doesn't like medical discussions that could be taken as serious medical advice. True, but if I'm an actual patient, oh, you know what? I agree with you, Jarella. You're right. We'll find a way to work around it, I think. I think we'll find a way. How did our system handle the trial? We were a hot mess. We were a hot mess express. Like on the outside, we looked all cool, calm, and collected. But on the inside, like my heart was racing. I was trying not to sweat to death because that's what I do when I get nervous is like I get kind of like sweaty, gross. But like it was just because of my nerves. But yeah, as a system, we were crying as soon as we hit the parking lot. We were crying. Like we were literally crying our way back to the car. And I was like, well, at least he didn't see me cry in person. And that was all I cared about. And as soon as I got on the phone with my mom, because my mom was the first person that I called, like I was already crying before my mom answered the phone and she goes, oh no, what happened? And so she could just tell because I was so distraught that like, I mean, guys, he ranted for like 45 minutes straight. Like his opening argument was 45 minutes long. And the judge just let him say and do whatever. The judge didn't try to stop him. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just let him go. And I was just like, this is so weird. This is so wild. Why isn't the judge saying anything? Why are you talking about my sex life? Why are you bringing up weird and disturbing shit? Like it was a lot. And I want to be very, very clear. I have not signed an NDA yet. I put in a request to sign an NDA so that way I can have a reason not to talk. But it was a lot. It was a lot, you guys. Sorry, I use shorthanded words. Oh, it's okay. It just took me a minute to catch up. I was like, oh yeah, okay, she means TikTok. Just put up obvious disclaimers. Yeah, and I think if I make a banner, like a trigger warning banner, and like a call a 1-800 number, kind of like Hannibal did, that'll help too. So, aw, Edna is saying it was my idea and Jan isn't doing it anymore, but I understand not wanting to step on any toes. Yeah, if it was originally Jan's idea, I just don't want to like yank the rug out from underneath her. And of course, we would love to have Jan's views here. I think she's a sweetheart. But we'll think about it. We'll go to the poll and on the community tab, and I'll set up a poll and I'll say, how do you feel about me doing like a Wellness Wednesday? But I think we could probably work something in like that where we just take a breather from Girl World. Yeah, it's a long opening, Strange. And like when he was done with his opening, he looked at the judge. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't understand that." He goes, "I didn't realize how long I've been talking for. How long I've been talking for?" Because I was watching the clock because I kept my eyes on the judge and the clock, and those were the only two things I was watching was the judge and the clock because I got to stay at the table. I didn't have to go up on the stand. I got to actually sit at my table because I was self-representing. So, and that's not the biggest thing that he did that like triggered the fuck out of me. So what he did was he took every single post that I had ever made, okay, on my community tab, in a text or an email. He took all three of those things, printed them all off, okay, and they were stacks of papers, okay. Think of like, how can I give you guys like a generalization? The first thing he did was after he walked in, then his wife and his secretary walked in behind him, and they took their seats over behind him, and I showed up by myself. I was completely solo. So he took this huge, ginormous stack of papers. Like it was a good 20 inches high, you guys. And hey, Satan, good to see you, hun. Welcome back to the chat. We're just kind of talking this morning about Monty and all kinds of stuff. So it's just kind of a chill and chat session, really. But welcome in. Hey, Ploppy, good to see you too. Wow, he must have went to Kinko's. I mean, he went somewhere. That was funny. But the first thing he did was he walked in the courtroom. He got all his stuff out on the table. The judge is sitting there and he's going, okay, he swears in him, but he doesn't swear in me, which I thought was really weird. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not getting sworn in. All right, that's fine. And I didn't want to interrupt because I didn't want to be put in contempt. So I just shut up the entire time. Well, he takes these stacks of papers. You guys know how thick like copy paper is, right? Like how much paper comes in like a copy paper reel. Take about 4 of those reels, put them all together, and put them in a stack. Okay. The stack was like enormous. All right. He walks over to my table, sets it down on the table, and leaves it there. And then he goes back to his opening argument and he points at it and he goes, "This is how many times she's contacted me." And I'm thinking, bullshit. I've been in no contact with you for 2.5 months now. 2.5 months I've been in no contact with you. And you're making it seem like I contacted you yesterday. That was how he opened his argument, you guys, with that. And it was just hell in a handbasket from there. And once I realized what he was doing and how upset he was, I got to say one thing during that whole hearing. And I looked at him and I looked at the judge. I said, "May I ask a question, please?" Because it was like he was digging something out. So it was like an appropriate time I could ask. And the judge was like, "Of course, we will go ahead and ask your question." And I said, "Can I just give him what he wants?" And the whole, like, he froze. He was over his table and he stopped in midair. Like, what did she just say? And I looked at, and the judge's like, "Are you saying that you agree and you consent to these charges?" And I said, "Just give him what he wants." And no, like the room was so silent, you could hear a pin drop in it. And he goes, "Can I ask why you're consenting?" I said, "I want everyone to be safe." That was the only line I got to say in the entire hearing. That was it. One line. "I want everyone to be safe." That was what I got to say. And the judge said, "Are you aware of what you're being charged with?" And so they go over it all again. And I was like, "I didn't do it, but just give him what he wants." And he kept saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And like he was so frozen, he was like a statue standing there. And I said, "I just want everybody to be safe and I need to go," because I was about to cry at that point in time. It was either I break down and cry or I leave. And the judge just let me consent and I left. That was what happened. That's how it went. That was it. No questions answered, no why answered, no nothing. And I was like, "Am I supposed to take this paperwork with me?" And like I was pointing at it because I didn't touch it. I was like, I'm not touching that shit. He'll want my fingerprint or some shit off of it. And he was just like, "Oh yeah, no, I need her to leave it there." It's like, you're scared of me, but you're less than 10 feet away from me. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So that's how it went. And I walked out. The judge said, "Okay, give her the consent." And I signed the forms and I walked the fuck out. And I didn't say a single fucking thing after that. And I'm sorry for cursing. I just get a little sensitive sometimes. But, oh, you guys are saying hi to each other. Okay. Did he have Twitter? And he had everything. He had every single community tab I had ever made, every single text he ever received, and any other email that he ever received. It was like he made a whole file on me, and he plopped the file down right in front of me just for a dramatic effect. And I know why he did that. He did that because he wants me to see what I'm doing, and he wants me to like absorb what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So, and trust me, it kicked my ass. It truly kicked my ass because I even just looking at it was about to make me cry. Like I barely heard like part of what he said because I was so focused on this stupid stack of papers that was right in front of my face. And just to be clear, like I stopped emailing back when I got the EPO. Like I had already stopped contacting. And he got the EPO even though I wasn't even contacting him. That's another thing that I'm upset that the judge doesn't understand is I'm like, look, I've already been in no contact for 2 months. So if I've already stopped the contact, why do I still need this EPO then? I'm not violent. I'm not threatening. I never have been. If I was violent, I wouldn't be in 9.5 years in therapy. Okay. My therapist has said herself, if I ever thought you were violent, you wouldn't make it past 1 week in my office. I know you're not violent. And my therapist was willing to testify as a witness to the fact that I am not violent because she has worked with me for almost 10 years now. It is so fucked up how he got everything, you guys. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. I know. I know. Screen just saying, I didn't think you could plead guilty if you also say you didn't do it, but maybe it's different for civil versus criminal. Yeah. So right now it falls into the civil category. So as long as things do not escalate, which I do not plan on doing a damn thing, I will hold my silence for the rest of my fucking life for all I care. That guy is just, ooh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Ploppy is saying, in hindsight, do you wish you would have hired a lawyer to represent you? I wish I could have, Ploppy, but it came down to the fact that um, it was too expensive. And every single person that I went to go and ask, like I called like a handful of people, maybe. Gypsy Rose's lawyer was one of the first people that I called because he understood the trolls. And the only reason he didn't take the case himself was because it was a conflict of interest. So Gypsy Rose's lawyer has actually worked with the previous lawyer, and that's why he couldn't take my case. But if I would have had my pick, I would have picked Gypsy Rose's lawyer because he really does understand the trolls and how they operate and what they do. But yeah, I wish I would have had one. I really do, but I tried. I sabotaged myself, but I tried. It was really scary, strange. Like he terrified me in that first 45-minute opening to like actually hear him, see how he feels. It's just like, why didn't you tell me this all along? Why couldn't you tell me this? Like you couldn't be an adult and just tell me one on one? Like really? He sounds obsessed with you, Ariel. Hang on, I need a drink really quickly. I gotta get some water. Okay, and now my voice is back now. Ariel, I know you're just being sarcastic. Ariel is saying, funny how he was saying you're the obsessed one, yet he had a whole, you guys, it was at least 600 pages or more. Like, it was like the biggest book. Think of like, okay, what is one of the biggest books I own? Hang on, just a second. I'm going to get a comparison. Let's do, hang on, iron plane. So, copy paper. So, let me show you guys this, and it'll give you an idea. Maybe this will give you guys an idea of what he plopped down. Like, the man very well could have been stalking me at that point with as much shit that he had. Good Lord. Okay, so I'm just pulling up good old Amazon. All right, this is what it looked like, okay? It was this right here. Take like about 4 of these reels of copy paper, okay? Take about 4 of them all together and stack them up back to back. That's what he brought in and flopped down on the table. It was every single email I had sent, every single text, and every single community tab post that I had ever made. And you guys know that I love my community tab. You guys know like how much I love that thing. So he had everything, but he dropped about 4 stacks of copy paper on the table. And he opened his line by saying, he said, the reason we're here today is because of lack of boundaries. And I about shit myself because I'm just like, we're here today because of lack of boundaries. You haven't said fuck all to me in months. And you're talking to me for the first time today in this courtroom. I am meeting you for the first time today in this courtroom. It was fucked up, you guys. All of it was fucked up. It really, truly was. But yeah, he stacked down a thing of paperwork about that thick. Yeah, strange. I didn't bring up any of that. I didn't want to talk mental health. I didn't want to use it as an excuse. I just was like, you know what? Fuck it. I consent. I didn't do this shit. I didn't take a pregnancy test. I didn't drive to your office on Thanksgiving. I didn't do any of this shit. But you know what? Get this man out of my face and just give him what he wants. Just get him away from me. Like, I was just that freaked out, you guys. That freaked out. Or it could have been super empowering. I don't think he would have understood. I don't think he believes in mental illness. Yeah, 600. Think of all my community tab posts, you guys. He had every single one for a whole year. It was at least a good 600 pages or more. I'm serious. I'm serious. What about the Bible? The Bible is still thinner than a stack of paper, though. Oh, there's Stephanie King trilogy. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Strange. Um, Keeping Kinko's in business. I guess so. Damn. Oh God, you guys, it was a lot. It was a lot. My little brain was on overdrive. Big dog, what are you doing? No, no. Yeah, the baby dog's getting irritated with me being on live. Um, Sounds like he was stalking your every move. Yeah, he was. And it wasn't just him, it was him and his entire office doing it. So I had not just him watching, I had almost everybody watching. So yay for me. I will never hire law again, you guys. Never again in my life. I will get up here and drag a bitch before I ever hire law again. Fuck that. Fuck that. That's why I don't bother going after Monty. I would rather just drag a bitch instead. Oh, and I'm back on TikTok, by the way. If you want to message me, I hope you're good, girl. I hope you're doing good. But anyway, you guys, thanks for kind of just getting on here and just letting me try to react to Monty. I should have known that he was going to attack me, and I just didn't think it was going to be to that magnitude. You know, like damn, Monty, baby dog, stop. Please stop. Sorry, she's getting into stuff. But yeah, I think I'm going to wrap things up here, you guys. It's been about half an hour longer than I wanted to be on. But thank you all so much for giving me like the benefit of the doubt and for listening to me and giving me a chance to explain. I promise you all, I will cut off my arms before I ever send him another email ever again. I will email my damn self. It is not worth it to go through all of that. So, anyway, guys, thanks for being here today. I had a good time. This was another good stream. And I really do miss talking to y'all. Like, my day feels kind of weird if I don't get to check in with y'all and see how y'all are doing. So, anyway, guys, I think I'm going to wrap things up. I just want to say a quick thank you to all of my regulars that are here in the chat, all the moderators that were here to help out today. And as always, a shout out to the replay crew. You guys are really what makes this go round. Hopefully this video will get to stay up. And if it doesn't, I will let you guys know in the community tab. Okay. So we'll see what happens. But thank y'all for being here, and I'll talk to y'all in the next stream. Bye, you guys.